Ancient Prophecies. Modern Nations in Biblical Lore. Part 1. The Introduction, Sowing the Seeds of Mystery. Welcome, seekers of truth, to a journey into the ancient whispers of time, illuminated by the flickering glow of a single candle. For centuries, the sacred texts have been a wellspring of profound wisdom, ethical guidance, and spiritual solace. Yet, beneath their familiar surface lies a deeper current, a hidden tapestry woven with threads of prophecy that speak not only of ages past, but of eras yet to unfold. Can it be that within these venerable scrolls, penned millennia ago, lie foretellings so precise, so astonishing, that they point directly to the very nations and geopolitical landscapes of our modern world? Are we merely reading history, or are we, in fact, reading tomorrow? Tonight, we peel back the layers of dust and dogma to explore this most intriguing of questions, a journey that promises to challenge your perceptions and deepen your understanding of the enduring power of the prophetic word. Part 2. The Core Journey, Deep Exploration. The Historical Context. Prophecy in the Ancient Near East. To truly grasp the concept of ancient prophecies pertaining to modern nations, we must first immerse ourselves in the historical and cultural milieu in which these prophecies were born. Prophecy in the ancient Near East was not merely fortune-telling. It was a sophisticated and often politically charged phenomenon. Prophets, in Israel and surrounding cultures, served as divine messengers, often advising kings, warning nations, and interpreting the will of the gods or God. Their pronouncements frequently concerned the rise and fall of empires, the destinies of peoples, and the consequences of their actions. Unlike the often vague or ritualistic divinations of neighboring cultures, biblical prophecy often carried a moral and covenantal weight, linking national destiny to obedience or disobedience to divine law. The prophets, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and Daniel, among others, were deeply engaged with the geopolitical realities of their times, foretelling the subjugation by Assyria, Babylon, Persia, and Greece. Their prophecies were not abstract musings, but direct interventions into the historical flow, shaping the identity and expectations of the Israelite people. This historical grounding establishes the precedent for understanding how ancient seers might have foreseen distant future entities through their immediate historical lens. Decoding the scripture, tracing the threads of prophecy. Now, let us turn to the scriptures themselves, to those enigmatic passages that scholars have long debated as potential harbingers of modern nations. Perhaps one of the most compelling examples comes from the book of Daniel, specifically chapter 7, which describes 4 great beasts arising from the sea, representing 4 successive kingdoms. These are traditionally interpreted as Babylon, Media-Persia, Greece, and Rome. However, the vision does not end with Rome. Daniel 7:7 speaks of a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth, and it had 10 horns. This beast, interpreted by some as the Roman Empire, is then followed by the emergence of a little horn, Daniel 7:8, that uproots 3 of the others and speaks great words against the Most High. This little horn, and the subsequent division of the 4th beast into 10 horns, have been a focal point for interpretations linking ancient prophecy to the fragmentation of power in Europe and the eventual rise of a dominant, albeit initially small, entity. Could these divisions represent the modern nation-states that emerged from the ashes of ancient empires? Beyond Daniel, we find powerful imagery in the book of Ezekiel, particularly chapters 38 and 39, which describe the future invasion of Israel by Gog of the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Ezekiel 38:5-6 lists the allies of Gog, Persia, Ethiopia, and Put with them, all of them with shield and helmet, Gomer and all its troops, Beth Togarmah from the far north, with all its troops, many peoples with you. These names, Magog, Meshech, Tubal, Gomer, and Beth Togarmah, have long fascinated commentators due to their geographical allusions. Magog is often associated with the Scythians, or various nomadic peoples north of the Black Sea, leading some to connect it with modern-day Russia. Meshech and Tubal are linked to regions in ancient Anatolia, potentially pointing towards parts of modern Turkey. Persia is unmistakably modern Iran. Ethiopia, Kush, and Put, Libya, point to African nations. The far north is a recurring descriptor that further strengthens the Russian connection for some interpreters. The text is rich with symbolic language, yet its geographical specificity invites a compelling, if controversial, modern application. The hidden theological meaning, God's sovereignty in history. What deeper theological meaning can we glean from these prophecies, regardless of their precise, modern interpretations? At its core, the presence of such detailed foretelling speaks to the profound sovereignty of God over human history. It suggests that even amidst the chaos of nations, the rise and fall of empires, and the seemingly random march of time, there is an overarching divine plan unfolding. These prophecies assert that history is not merely a cyclical repetition of events, but a linear progression towards a predetermined end. They offer a powerful reassurance to believers that God is actively involved in the affairs of mankind, guiding the destinies of nations, and ultimately working all things towards his purposes. The ability of an ancient text to seemingly describe future geopolitical configurations reinforces the belief in a God who transcends time and space, whose knowledge encompasses both the past and the future. It transforms history into his story, a narrative authored and directed by the divine hand. Controversies and theories. The perils and promises of interpretation. It is crucial to acknowledge the significant controversies and diverse theories surrounding the identification of modern nations in biblical prophecy. One primary challenge lies in the hermeneutical gap, the vast cultural, linguistic, and historical distance between the ancient authors and our contemporary world. Critics argue that attempting to force modern geopolitical entities into ancient prophetic texts is anachronistic and can lead to eisegesis, reading one's own ideas into the text rather than exegesis, drawing out the meaning from the text. The fluidity of ancient geographical names, the shifting borders of empires, and the symbolic nature of prophetic language make precise identification notoriously difficult. However, proponents often counter that the very nature of prophetic fulfillment suggests a gradual unveiling, where clearer understanding emerges as history progresses. They point to the remarkable accuracy of some biblical prophecies regarding ancient empires as a precedent for interpreting future ones. Dispensationalist theology, in particular, often seeks to identify specific modern nations within these prophecies, believing they reveal details of end-time events. Other scholars adopt a more symbolic or typological approach, seeing the prophecies as patterns of God's interaction with nations throughout history, rather than exact predictions of specific modern states. The debate is robust, underscoring the deep human desire to understand our place in the grand divine narrative and the inherent complexities of interpreting texts that speak across millennia. Part 3. The conclusion, an eternal echo. As our candle burns low, we are left to ponder the extraordinary implications of these ancient texts. Whether interpreted as literal blueprints for modern geopolitics or as profound theological statements about God's eternal sovereignty, the prophecies concerning nations remain a compelling testament to the unique character of the Bible. We have journeyed through the historical context, delved into the scriptural passages, grappled with their hidden meanings, and acknowledged the vibrant debates they ignite. What, then, is the lasting echo these prophecies leave in our hearts? Perhaps it is not a definitive answer to which nation is which, but rather a profound call to humility and wonder. A call to recognize that the grand narrative of human history, with all its complexities and conflicts, is not a tale told by chance. It is a story unfolding within the boundless knowledge and purpose of a transcendent God. And in that realization, we find not only a sense of awe at the intricate design of the universe, but also a renewed sense of purpose for our own lives, living within a story far grander than we can ever fully comprehend. May the light of these ancient words continue to illuminate our path, guiding us through the mysteries of time and eternity.